Hi, welcome to Ikate's Crossing. Okay, so I just grabbed half a dozen decks, and I just want to go through decks that I quite like using. I just sort of randomly pull decks that I quite like working with at different times. Now, I've got, my collection is growing, and there's lots of decks that I absolutely love and have been pulling out and using. So I want to I just pulled out some decks to sort of talk about. Okay, the first tarot deck that actually made sense to me was the Native American Tarot. Now, this is the deck I've used for years, right? For a number of years. So, I want to say close to 30 years, basically. So, over 25 years. So this is one deck that I love. Now I have replaced it with the new cardstock from US Games. It's got an excellent companion book that you can buy separately. You can find it secondhand. So I absolutely love this deck. Now, a couple of things. The major arcana are quite unique in many ways. Of course, it follows the different tribes or the different peoples from the Native American, right? There's lots of different people. There's also like the Inuit. There is that sort of some Canadian as well, not just Native American, not just the Americas, right? Not just North America, but others as well. Okay, so it does have a sort of Inuit people as well. So it does have different peoples. It does talks about different deities. The suits are shields, pipes, blades, and vessels. Now they do have keywords on the bottom of the minor arcana, which I absolutely love. Major arcana, there's your 4 vessels. So it really makes you think with these court cards as well, with his chief, matriarch, warrior, and maiden. So they are quite unique in their king. I absolutely love this deck. Definitely recommend for anyone who wants to explore Native American teachings. I think this is stories, teachings, that sort of thing. I think it would be a really, really great deck to dive into, if that is something that interests you. It really is. It's one deck that I've really had this connection with for some reason. I had a really strong connection with this deck, and I love it. At the time when I first got this deck, I also got a lot of Native American Oracle decks as well to go with it. Some I've replaced, and so this collection. So I definitely want to explore more. I love sort of exploring this as something I do on my own. It's not something I always share. Now, a lot of times when I pull out my decks, I'm not doing videos for them. I'm not vlogging or taking photos or anything like that. I'm just exploring them on my own. And, it's not always something that I share. But this is one deck that I love. Absolutely adore this deck. So, yeah, as you can see by the imagery, it really sort of speaks volumes. When I first started working with this deck, I would pull a card and I would write what I saw. And I wrote things that felt, or symbols, or part of the image, items in the images, or animals, things that sort of spoke to me, and I would write them down as much as I could. And so I found this deck to work really, really well when I did expos, and firstly it was just reading for myself, and then I started reading for friends, and not really family but friends, and then I sort of expanded to doing expos and things like that after reading for people. So absolutely love this. And I actually was reading with the Crystal Alley cards for a while when I was reading with this deck, the first edition. And so yeah, absolutely love this deck. So I just want to share just a selection of decks that I've got in my collection. This is not by way of a whole lot, but just a few decks that I sort of grabbed. Now, another deck, when I was sort of looking for a witchcrafty type of deck, a deck that had sort of witchy sort of energies, I came across the Silver Witchcraft Tarot, and it gives me a very sort of growth and expansion sort of feeling to it. Feels very spring in many ways. Sort of growth and expansion. So this is one of my, for a long time this was sort of the only witchy tarot that I had over the last few years. Years. Oh God, time has gone so fast. 8 to 10 years. So yeah, Silver Witchcraft Tarot. Definitely love this as a witchy deck. I don't know, it's just something really speaks volumes to me when I'm doing readings. I love this deck. It's like when I talk about themes, right? So, yeah, I'm not going to pull out all the cards. I can go on forever. A deck, again, really, really good. It's a low Scarabeo. It does come with a little guidebook. Okay. One deck that I brought as a gift for myself, and I cannot wait for the remastered deck. Okay, was the Starman Tarot. Now this deck is very busy. Now I had been interested in the Pearls of Wisdom, had looked at the Bonfire Tarot, and at the time, with me being in New Zealand, things are a little bit tricky sometimes, and I hadn't really, I was buying locally, and so I brought, for my birthday present to myself, was the Starman Tarot, and I love this, and I cannot wait to see what the remastered deck will be like. And I love this deck. I love the busyness of it. I love the vibrancy, the colours, the fact that it David D'Angelis with collaboration with David Bowie, with his artwork in regards to David Bowie's albums and music and marketing and things like that. And so that whole energy, vibration, David does very sacred geometry type of energy, which I love. And so, yeah, and I love the music, of course, of that time. Big thing. So, yeah, I love this deck. Absolutely love. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the remastered. Now, it is on I have pre-ordered this. So it is on pre-order. You can pre-order it. Definitely recommend, if you're interested in the Starman Tarot, or you've already got a set and you're interested in the remastered, definitely recommend pre-ordering. And I love the sort of the characters in this deck. It really gives you a lot to work with when you're doing a person. If I'm doing a client reading face-to-face, I find this deck gives me a lot to work with. Gives me a lot of layers. But it also gives me the ability to do quick snap readings without going too deep. Which I like. I like that option, to be able to have that choice depending on what the client needs, pays for, whatever, pays for what I'm doing. I can either very, very quick snap readings, or I can go quite deep with the imagery of the cards if I'm doing a personal reading for someone that requires a little bit more time, a little bit more in-depth. So that's what I love about this deck. It really gives me that option. Yeah, I love the imagery in this card. I love the busyness of the card. Now, for a sort of, I didn't want to get a sexual deck, but I did want to get a romance, love sort of tarot deck. But I was struggling to get something, and I came across the romantic tarot. To me, it sort of gives me that era of romance. Just quite unique in the imagery. Again, if I just want to do a quick reading with the tarot meetings, can do that really quick. If I want to sort of dive into a little bit deeper for a client, especially if I'm doing a face-to-face reading, it does give me the option to sort of dive into the imagery a little bit more. The imagery does tell us a story if we choose to dive into that a little bit deeper within a reading. So I love that option to be able to do a quick flick reading, or I can dive into the imagery a little bit more and sort of undo some layers, if you like, into the relationship. So I love that option. So it's quite unique in its imagery. Not necessarily a beginner's tarot deck, but definitely someone who's interested in unveiling some more layers to a relationship reading. Love that. Okay. Now, I pulled out the New Mythic Tarot. It's been around a long time. It's had some changes with the borders and the backs and things like that, but it has been a deck that's been around for a long time. It's got an excellent guidebook. It does the Greek mythology really well, sort of diving into that sort of storyline with the deities and things like that. So I love it. Absolutely love this deck. Love the mythology. Love the stories. I love it. Love it. Now, I did manage to grab a couple of Greek oracle decks that go with, which I've got. Greek reading cards plus the Mythic Oracle. Mythic Oracle, so it goes really well with this. So yeah, I love diving into the guidebook. It does give us a lot more, like I said, with the mythology, with the deities. I love that. Again, it's a deck that gives you a quick reading if you want to, or if the client needs it, you can go in a little bit deeper with the imagery, the deities, the stories, things like that. I think it's a really excellent book. Now, for Tarot de Marseille style decks, I just pulled out the Spanish tarot. There are lots of others. The reason why I pulled this out is because I love the colorway of this deck. I love the colorway. It's a little different than a Tarot de Marseille style deck, just because of the colors, I think, and the characters, and just the way they are with the flowers that are used and the connections. So again, this is a deck that can give very quick to the point sort of readings, but if you would allow yourself to really dive into the cards, you can find yourself sort of giving a little bit more. But I think it might be the style of reader I am. I don't know. We're all different. We're all unique. But this is what works for me. So this was just half a dozen decks I wanted to share that were quite different, quite unique in their own way. They are all very different in their imagery, as you can see. You've got the Spanish tarot, romantic tarot. You've got the Starman Tarot with the brightness. You've got the cultural deck with the New Mythic Tarot, Silver Witchcraft Tarot, and then the Native American Tarot as well. So that's 6 decks that I just want to bring out and sort of show you. A little different. And yeah, that's it from me. Don't forget to check the links down below, check the links on my channel, like, subscribe and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care.